Oh, well, it's 5 a.m. I'm going back to bed though. But the wind has stopped blowing, and it's like a mirror on the lake. But that's too cold. I'm waiting till the sun comes out. Then the wind. Well, battery's dying. 6 a.m. I'm gonna get up. I think the wind has stopped, so the lake is looks good. I put on a coffee first. I really feel like sleeping more, but fly fishing is now early in the morning, and then I go to bed at maybe try and go to bed by 8 tonight, early. I was up 2 or 3 times. I take a pee last night. Kind of sucked. It was cold. I'm glad I had a warm sleeping bag. I needed it. It was outside was quite cold. So plus near close to zero, basically. And it's quite nice weather, so you can see. I don't know if we can look at that. 8 o'clock, day 2, going back to bed. Too tired, was up too early. That was 4 hours sleep. So wind has picked up and looks like clouds, so I brought everything in. And I get a rain shower. That sucks. Not supposed to rain today though, and some rain tomorrow. Not much though. We'll see. Then early out of here on Sunday. Pack up and be out of here early. Alright, bye. This is what we want to see. Mirror Lake. And that's Cindy Roz's. Too cold for the insects. It's only about, well, now it's about +4. Maybe +5. It's cold though. This is what we want, not that stupid wind. So early in the morning is the go, obviously. But I'm going to make a coffee first. Try out my kettle. Definitely. So, anyway, that wasn't a great sleep, but the new sleeping pad is really comfortable. That was absolutely worth it. Otherwise, I would have had a bad night. Those fur mattresses suck. So it's comfy. It's only summer use though. It's not very warm. But it's tiny as well. So that also helps. And it's only 500 grams. So, I mean, that was a stroke of genius. I'm so glad I got that. That really saved the trip. Huh. Getting too old to rough it. So, sleeping and feeling the stones right through your sleeping pad is really no good. And then see how the battery is doing on this. I'm really critical on... well, this has got 3 bars left out of 5. And there's a cozy tent. There's some condensation. I've already used up 1 battery bank. My mobile is charging. I've got 1.5 battery banks left. So I can only use the battery banks for the mobile. That's eating a lot of juice. Ooh, there's a caddis. Cool. Caddis are cool. Means it's trout food. That's the first insect I've seen, apart from flies. So I'm going to take a few photos, and then I'm going to get this coffee on the go. Well, coffee's just about ready. Turn it off and let it settle. It's cookie coffee. You don't really have that in the US. You boil it. It's very coarsely ground. So I think I can turn that off. Whoops, yeah. Running over. A bit of a mess. And then just let the coffee grounds settle a little bit. Absolutely not a single wake. So very disappointing. It's warming up though with the sun, makes a huge difference, and everything's really wet from the dew. So, and there's my farmer's omelette, Swedish. See how that works out. So, could have slept another 2 or 3 hours really, because I got up at 5 and I fell asleep at 11, but I was up twice. So anyway, I'll have an afternoon snooze maybe. That should do it. Disappointed with oh, is that a rise? No, not really enough insects. There's mosquitoes, and what you can see there in the, or mayflies or something, dayflies, mayflies, day in fluid. And I've seen a few caddis, and of course mosquitoes are out already, and they already got me a couple times yesterday anyway. But whoops, focus, like a mirror, the lake. So that's what you want, definitely. All right. Well, I've seen 4 or 5 rises. One really close, but it's gone quiet again. Not much insect activity is the problem. There's no point getting up before 7. It's too cold for the insects, really. So I can sleep in tomorrow. So I've tied on an Alcare caddis, which is a dry fly. I've seen quite a few caddis around. But it's very quiet. Maybe there's only 4 fish in the lake. And I caught one of them yesterday, the big one. I don't know. So I'm just going to finish my coffee. And then I might try and get some fly casting action. Set up the tripod. And maybe I can just... The goal of the trip, which would really be awesome, which I don't think I can do, would be to actually get myself on film catching a fish on the dry fly. That would be something else, but I doubt it. So, looking very quiet now. That would be great. Don't have enough batteries to run the video that long though. I only got 2 batteries for this camera, and I have to save the battery banks for the mobile. Otherwise, can't call an emergency, although I do have a backup mobile. I could do that. But I can't buy a train ticket home. And I'm not sure I can check the weather. My old mobile is about 10 years old now. Galaxy S5. So pretty ancient. It's now Galaxy S22 or something. So my coffee, just finished that first. Tripod's up, so consistently rising past that stone a little bit. I think I can cast that far. Yeah, there's another rise right there. So they seem to be hanging around there, 2 or 3. I think they're piddlers though. But anyway, fish is fish. So I'm going to set this up and get some fly fishing action. The wind's picking up. So it's 30p as usual. I really got to cruise before the wind picks up. So yeah, wind just picked up right now. That sucks. Anyway. Well, I'm not really casting far enough. Out of practice, and the line needs some treatment, I think. Not slick enough. But it's gone quiet, so I'm going to turn you off. No catching fish on film this time. I didn't think so. Got some fly fishing action though. I got a conserved battery. Only 2 bars left, that's no good. So, farmer's omelette, I'm very curious. First time I'm trying, from Sweden. Must be good then, right? So that sits the egg mix in water. Eyeballed it, 4 deciliters for a packet, and that's probably too much. I won't fit it all in the pan. And then sits for 10 minutes, and then you fry it up in butter. Should have had a little whisk or something to whisk it together, but don't have one, so that's too bad. Anyway, I'll probably burn the pan, but we'll give it a shot. It's a bit slanted. Got enough butter in there anyway. That's probably enough. Well, bit of a mess. Mmm, tasty. I don't know how that's going to work. It's cooking. Alright, I gotta save batteries. It's kind of bubbling. Something's happening. Question is, do I burn the crap out of the pan? I brought a scrubber just in case. A Scotch pad. For some reason they don't have Scotch pads in Australia, can you believe it? It's so primitive. Primitive country. Anyway. I don't know how long that's going to take. Could take a while to cook. I'm not eating raw water and egg powder though. There's no, it's only full blast on this stove. You can't really turn it down. It's working though. So I probably get a whole day out of that one gas canister. So I had way too much gas. Well, it's very slow to cook. It's not sticking though. It didn't burn. I had enough butter. So another few minutes and it should be good. I had to give it a stir. Tastes alright, not great. Could have used more salt. Hot breakfast though, and then I'm going back to bed because 4 or 5 hours sleep is really not enough. So yeah, and now the wind's picked up, so that's it. Around, what time is it now? 10 to 8. Wind picks up and that's it for the fly fishing. Maybe with the spey rod. Because that's not a wobbler, a zonker. A yellow zonker. And then the rest of the day it's lure casting. I mean, I'll bring the fly if I see some rises, but I don't know. And maybe I just, quite tired, maybe I just fish this lake today and chill. I have to leave Sunday morning early, before the rain starts in the afternoon. So, and then I'll have to kill hours and hours at the Haugastøl station, I think. Anyway, if it'll focus. Wind's picked up already, you can see. So it does make sense to get up early, it really does. But I mean, there were so few rises. One jumped right out of the water. I think I got that on film too. Maybe. A good foot out of the water, a little piddler, after an insect. So, focus on this is not great. so it needs another stir. It's very slow to cook. Uses a lot of gas. Still isn't quite there. Wow, now it's burning. I'd say that's more or less done. That's one portion, not two portions. Unless you had toast, that would be... If you had toast, you could say it's not sticking. It's burning a bit on the bottom. I'll have to give it a scrub later. Tomorrow morning. And then more coffee for me, because I need my beauty sleep. So that's done. It's scrambled eggs, not an omelette, but omelette's too hard. Let's see how it tastes. Not really like egg. This is probably too much. Huh. Anyway. Hot breakfast though. It beats knäckebröd, makreli tomat. Well, I did bring cheese, so I might do that tomorrow. I need to sleep a good 2-3 hours though. Pack away my camera. I'm going to get some guests here. So, can't do much about the rods. They are where they are. Only one of them is expensive, but that's $1,000 rod. I don't want to lose that. I think. Yeah, it did burn. People who come up here are not stealing, so I think they're safe. You never know though. If I was Australia, I'd disassemble them and put them inside the tent. And I wouldn't leave the tent. I'd have to pack the tent away. In Australia, these bogans steal everything that's not chained down. So we're locked away in the car. On the other hand, you couldn't just camp wherever you wanted to in Australia. You have to camp at a camping site with tens or hundreds of other bogans. So camping in Australia is not, plus snakes and big huntsmen and funnel webs. Camping in Australia is not cool. It sucks. And there's no trout fishing really. There is, but I mean the rivers are tiny, piddly rivers, tiny little creeks, full of poisonous snakes. I've almost stepped on a whatchamacallit, red-bellied black snake, but worse was a tiger snake I almost stepped on. And that was a really remote national park. I would have probably died. No, that was not cool. That was infested with tiger snakes. Tiger snakes really like the rivers. So it's not too bad. That's my verdict. That's alright. So I can turn off the camera and put you away inside the tent. Visitors. It's 5 to 12. I got finally. Oh, that's steep. I went right through the bush. I don't think there's much of a trail. I'm gonna head over to the next lake. Fisk, Crosshavtjørnet, which I can't remember whether it's supposed to have good fish or not. I'm going to straight up. It's pretty steep. You can see they're over there. The only people I've seen so far, but then I was in the tent for 3 hours between 8:30 and now, and I finally slept half an hour. had a little too much coffee this morning to sleep straight away, and I only slept 4 hours last night, so I'm still pretty tired. So chill day today. I'm gonna head to Haugastøl and just fish on the other side of this hill for a bit, and then come back here, or maybe I'll explore across Haugastøl a little bit. Taking the camera, and it's quite warm. It's blowing, but everyone's wearing shorts. They're wearing shorts. I have a wind jacket. I may wear that now, actually. It's not that warm. It's cold last night, and brekkie was alright. It's a bit of an operation cooking though, the eggs. I have to eat up some cheese. I may have cheese tomorrow, burgers. And then I've still got 6 dinners and 6 beers. Jesus. That's probably one of the reasons I didn't sleep too well last night, is the beers yesterday. Although I stopped having beers at like 7:30. I went to bed at 9, but still. So I wasn't too smart. Anyway, after that huge hill, it was necessary. Oh, they've disappeared. So now I've got zebras off. One bar left on this battery, and then it's on to the next battery. 2 bars, no, 1 bar on the camera left, and then it's to my last battery for the camera. And then when that goes, I have to go over to the GoPro. Can't use battery banks to charge the camera. So it looks really deep, maybe too deep for the fly. It's kind of sheltered from the wind. There's a fireplace over there. So this bay looks a bit sheltered, so I'm going to try it. And the wind's coming from basically the east, the southeast, as opposed to from the north, which it normally does. So this time I've got my camera out in case I catch a trout. I think it's still catch and release. I'm just not up. I'm too tired today to cook fish. I think clean and cook. I don't know. Maybe get a big fat one, then okay, that's different. But the little ones are all full of bones. Too many bones. Not really enough meat. So I've got one fish that may be my fish for the trip. No guarantee I'll get anything today. Someone's actually got a boat on the bank all the way on the other side. Drag that up here is quite something, up that hill. And there's a patch of snow. Could have brought a few brews and chilled them in the snow. But I'm gonna wait till later for that. Just 1 bar. Right, so gotta conserve battery. Just some small piddlers jumping out of the water, past where I can reach. Although one was in range. And then it's been dead. As you can see, the water is crystal clear. And really deep, probably too deep for the fly. So I'm gonna have to give up the fly and go lure casting. Sluk, which sucks. The question I'm debating, I've been fishing for 2 hours. I came from that corner over there. My campsite is around the bend. Do I go all the way to the other end of the lake, which is a long hike, and then I won't be back until 5 or 6? Or do I go back and just fish my local and chill? So, and there's no trail, and it's not nice to hike there. There are a lot of boulders and moraine and bushes, and I might hike to, there's an island, a peninsula. I'm not sure you can go out there because there may be too wet. Waders, obviously. There's some reeds and marshes, and that may be a bit fishier. So I might just hike all the way over there. Now, I'll leave up here, and then I want to get some more fly fishing action. I'm fishing now with this line, the big trout spay rod, because it sinks more, and I can cast further. trouble casting with the single-handed rod. My double haul is out of practice, and I need to condition the line. It's not shooting through that well. So, but a mate of mine is saying I should go for a long hike and drop the fishing. But I've only got today and tomorrow, so fishing it is. Definitely. Chilling. But that's a long hike to the end of this lake. Is a really long hike. It doesn't look that far, but it's really far. It's a couple, 2-3 kilometers through the bush. I saw 2 people coming from that direction though, so it must be possible. So I'm going to just hike over there and see what it looks like. Maybe better than here. This is too deep, and they're just piddlers jumping. So time to put everything away and then get cruising. I've had my break. Been going very slowly, 2 hours to go half a kilometer. Stopping every 10 or 15 yards to fish another spot. And there's a bit of a breeze, but it's not bad. It still makes fly casting difficult. Well, you have to cross a boulder field. That's alright. Casting straight into the wind, this may not be doable with the fly. You'd have to wade to get onto that island. If you brought waders, it would be no problem, and then you could cast towards those reeds, old fish. So I'm not sure I'll go to the end. I could, and then around, and then up, and then down. That's a long hike though, and I'm not sure I'm up for that. Shallower here, so that's better for the fly, but of course it's blowing. It may snag the fly, actually. So, fireplace, of course. Nice spot to sit and fish and build a little fire. Only fires from September. 15th of September or something, I forget when it is. This wind is too strong. I think this is an abortion. I have to be on the other side, back to where I came from. I can cast from that spot. I think I'll head there, because I'll have the wind to my back, which is doable. And I'm just curious to see just how far around you have to go around the whole lake. And then you can. The other side doesn't look really hikeable. There's too much bush and there's no trail, so that's not so good. The other side, there's going to be a trail. There's a trail that goes along the top to the very top of the peak up there, Kvashovd. But then that's a hike and not fishing. So I'm going to head just to where the grass is, the reeds, and just try and fish from there. Well, as I suspected, a lot shallower here, better for the fly. Still using a sinking fly and a sink tip, so I'll just chuck it in the middle. I can't quite reach all the way towards the reeds over there, it's too far. And then just work my way down the bank, I guess. And then somewhere down there I have to stop and turn around and go home. And then it's time for a cold brewski. Lukewarm brewski, it won't be cold. Unless I bring back some snow. I have a plastic bag, I could do that. It'll melt on the way and it'll leak right through the bag. And it's too heavy to carry. There's more snow there. Anyway, I think the other side is really not so great for fishing now, the way the wind is blowing. So I'm not going to try that. It's a little far anyway. Not too far, but there's really no fishing on that side. Not much. Okay, pack you away and to get the rod. Still 1 bar, so tripod means fly fishing action time. Got to show you some of that with the trout spay. Not casting that well, and the wind has picked up as I said that. I fished just about halfway down the lake now, this side of it, and I could go home more or less, or I can fish with the lure on the way back, go back the same way. which I might do. It's kind of a pain, but just try the lure. Or I can head home. I'm quite close to the end. Can't really fish that side because of the wind. I could try. I think it's difficult to fish that side. That's not good. It's too steep. Not really walkable. So I'm going to go back the same way, which is because the edge of the lake is all the way over there. So time to get this set up. It's a great little tripod. It's just heavy enough to be fairly solid. And then it's got a ball head, so it's easy to adjust. I think that's about right. Alright, this is normal speed, 30p. Can't let it sink too much. Snaggy. Well, the wind is picked up, but I'll try some slow motion, half speed. That'll be the next clip. Well, died in the middle of my slow-mo, so that's the last of the first battery. Full new battery, that'll last a day and a half. A day. So I won't have any for the very last day when I pack out, and that'll have to be the GoPro anyway, because I can't dig out the big camera when I'm packing the bag, and I have to hurry before it rains. So this has to last me the rest of today and all of tomorrow. And I don't have enough battery banks to charge. I brought the charger, but I can't afford. Too risky to run out of mobile juice. So I need that for ticket and to call if there's an emergency, etc. Although I do have a backup mobile, but can't buy my ticket on that. So that's it. So I have to spend 1,800 kroner for another couple batteries if I go on a longer trip. If I'm camping, it looks like. Well, I'm not alone. This group of people fishing right there. 4 of them it looks like. I brought a bag of snow so I can have a cold beer. That's awesome. That's not such a good fishing spot they have, but looks like they're fishing with worms. I don't know. 2 o'clock, I've done my fishing for today. So I just see how fast that beer cools down. Some water, some snow. I may have 4 tonight. Jesus. I have to be up early on Sunday anyway, so I can only really have 2. Plus I have leeming hakevit. Well, but I'm not going to touch that, I don't think. Unlikely. We'll see, maybe I'll just have 2 or 3. Well, the Danes have left. They actually were Danish. About an hour ago. I've been chilling. So, 1 more beer or just 2 tomorrow? A good question. I'm gonna head to the other side of the river. I'm not quite done fishing. It's now 6:10. It's a bit of a hike. I'll be there at 6:25, more or less, to where it's good, which I think is that spot there. So, and then I really should be in bed early, but I think 9:30 is probably the earliest I can make it, because I still have to cook dinner. So we'll see. And I still haven't cleaned out my bon omelette, my omelette pan from this morning. So I think just cheese and crackers tomorrow morning. Get an early start, not waste half an hour cooking up omelettes. Pretty tasty though. They weren't too bad. They weren't great, but they weren't terrible. So nobody here. It's warm. It's t-shirt weather. I just got this so I can hang my bits and bobs, my clippers and the tongs for releasing the fish. I may keep a fish. I mean, I brought a plastic bag this time, so it could be for the pan tonight if he's decent. And I have a knife. And it's a pretty big bag. And then it's not that easy hiking over there, but I'll get there somehow. I could just chill here, but feel guilty not fishing for at least another hour or 2 hours. It's still a breeze, so it's still blowing, but it's calm on the other side. The other side is where a lot of people caught fish, so I'm going to try that. Anyway, I'll try there first with the fly. This time it's a sardine zonker, and I may get some dry fly action in. I did bring the tripod, but I think that's enough setting up the tripod. And I need batteries for tomorrow on this camera. So I need to conserve batteries, and I need batteries to show me leaving. So I need to buy another battery or 2, and they're really expensive. I could just buy a giant power bank. That'd be just as good and a lot cheaper, so that's an option. But batteries are a lot smaller, and they last a day and a half, or about a day, full day. So another 2 batteries. I just wish they were a lot cheaper. So over there looks like the go. It's calm, and I cast from that point over there sticking out and caught my only trout. So if I cast halfway with the lure from one of those points, I think that's where they're hanging out. And I wish this wind would stop. But anyway, time to get cracking. Full batteries, nice. So I went straight to the spot where I caught the trout yesterday, and I was on the bank over there casting around into the middle, so it's not that deep, and there's a rise. So I'm wondering if the fish kind of hang out here, especially when it's windy. There were some rises over there. It's quite shallow as well. I thought I'd go straight to the main spot and chill. And then I've set up the tripod so get some more fly fishing action and some slow motion. I'm not sure, I have to not catch the tripod, but I could put a dry fly out there, but I haven't seen any rises. Not very many. So I may do the two-hand with a herring zonker, which is blue and silvery, which is right, it's bright now. There's Kvasshovd up there, up the top. You can see the Vidna, the cairn. And it took 10 minutes, so it's not too bad. I have to scramble through the bush a bit, and there's my little camping site. And I want to be in bed early. I mean, maybe 9:30, 10 is realistic, and then I'll be asleep by 11. It's hot. I may be too hot in my sleeping bag. That sleeping bag is supposed to be good to -11 comfort, or T limit, or whatever. So it's really a winter bag, cool 3-season, almost 4-season bag. And it's probably still 22 degrees now, so that might be too hot. So we'll see. I was fine last night. It was cold here. It was around +2 or +3, and I'm glad I had a toasty bag. But tonight, I'm not sure it'll be that cold. We'll see. So what a gorgeous spot. It's only a tiny little lake, but I mean, has fish. So time to chill. Then I'll try and cast from right there, I guess. There's a rock over there, but I don't know. Fall in the water and get everything sopping wet. And there's some rocks over there as well. There was a little rise. He jumped a little bit out, and he did again. So this seems to be the most sheltered from the wind, but you can see the wind wakes, or whatever you want to call them, start not very far out from shore. So there's still a breeze. So not many rises, and I don't see too many insects except for the damn flies. A lot of flies, not like Aussie bush flies, but a lot of flies. And I don't know why, unless it's the sheep from Hardangerfjord, which Gilde keep advertising, graze under Hallingskarvet. But I mean, there shouldn't be too much sheep shit here. So I mean, just natural. And I actually had a wasp inside my tent, or between the tarp and the tent. Now there's another rise this morning, which was not too cool. I didn't think I'd get wasps here. Bees, yes, but not wasps. So it's probably all the food I've left out. Anyway, okay. So I might, you won't see the back cast, but you can see the forward cast. I'll cast from a bit over there with the dry fly. I mean, it's calm enough. Maybe something gets it. That would be awesome to get a fish on the dry fly, but I don't think I will. Well, 30p. I don't see any rises, but I'm gonna go head over there and do some casting. Who knows? Maybe they'll take an interest. I want to get some single-handed action, not just double-handed. So, anyway, not tangle everything up on the bushes behind it. This is kind of a slope going behind. Well, I got about 3 good casts, so I have to leave it. And there was a piddler way in the corner which you can't see me casting after. So just chill now. See if we get any rises. Well, maybe you did see me. Just barely. You saw me untangling the line from the bushes. Not casting high enough on my back cast. Well, 30p. So I've had my break. Good half-hour break. Chilling. I've got the tripod extended about as high as I can go, which is about 5'2", which is all. It's about as high as I get. It'd be nice to spend another 5 days. I've been 2 nights. I'll be 3 nights and 2.5 days, and then I have to leave because it's pouring on Monday, which is no good. And then it'll rain a bit on Tuesday, and then it'll be fine for a few days, and then rain again. But I mean, the main limiting factor, I had food, I had beer, I had everything, for a week. But I'm running out of batteries, and I may run out of batteries already tomorrow on my main camera, the Leeming S5. On my mobile especially, that's important, although I have a backup mobile. On the GoPro, my second battery. And I brought 3 battery banks, which should be enough, 12,000, 10,000, 7,000 milliamp hours. But clearly it's not enough. You have to bring bigger ones when you're bringing this much electronics. So I have to obviously get new batteries for this camera U, which are really expensive, but I've got 2 where I could just get a big battery bank to charge them. 20,000 milliamp hour battery bank. And then the same for the mobile, which has a big battery. And it lasts the whole day, or a day and a half, but then this has been lasting a day. This is a OnePlus cheapie, and the screen is already cracked. So, and I'm totally reliant on my mobile for the forecasts, for the tickets home, for emergency calls. Not emergency calls because I have a backup mobile. But I mean, the fact that you can't change batteries on these guys is terrible. I mean, you used to be able to do that. I still can on my Galaxy S5. That's why it's my backup mobile. But it's so old that in the Android version that I can't really, none of the apps work. So it's hopeless. So I think now I'm going to try again. Some treads by action, and then I'm not sure how long to do that. Maybe over to casting. I've got a little Tassie Devil all the way from Australia on there, which casts really well and fishes really well, and trout like it. So anyway. So 30p again. We'll try some, I assume I'll get it in frame. And the sun looks like it'll hit it alright. Try some trout spay. I've changed the fly to herring, so herring still be a with orange silver. I'm not sure. It's called. So I'm not sure I'm in frame, so I'm going to point you around a little bit. There we go. So I'm going to go, there's fish jumping over there, so not here because the net is here, so I'm going to move that way, and I'll have to edit this. It's way too many bad casts, but I've got the shore, and then I think that's good enough. Well, down to 4 bars on the battery already. That's not good. Well, that sucked. Casting's gone to shit. I've been casting all day with that rod. Had better casts. So, lure time. I've spent all day on fly. 8 p.m. Time to cheat. So, sorry for the bad casting. I'll have to edit that. Can't have 20 minutes of bad casting. Anyway, alright. So, still recording? Yeah. And would have seen me. Anyway. So, well, that was definitely my last beer for tonight. I've only got 2 tomorrow. So, Schluck. I tied on little fiddle focus. Tassie Devil. This is a small one. I've got 2 bigger ones, but I can't, well, I have to open the container. I brought them all the way from Australia. Casts far, it swims well, looks like a baby trout, and it catches fish. So, let's see if it can do that. I should really trim the tag, but I'm not going to because I'm lazy. Now it's tangled around the hooks. It's a treble, so probably no catch and release on this one. I've got a loop in my reel that goes out when I cast. It's quite shallow, so I have to reel it quickly. This is the last gasp. It's 8:10, and I want to fish because those dinners are terrible. Oh, I've got a loop. I've got a big loop. This is no good. I'm gonna have to unknot that. This is not good. This is bad. Alright, I've got a major tangle. So there's some weed down there. Right, I'm going to turn you off while I untangle this. It's not noticeable to roll out, but you can get loops in your line, even fishing with the spinner. So, all right, turn you off. Try again. All right, got rid of the loop. That's it. Lost some line, but that's not too bad. This is how the typical Norwegian does it with the lure. Damn it! What? Again, two. Well, they're rising, but it's still very slow. So, break time again. It's 8:27:22. So, chill with the sea. Difficult. They just don't want to bite on the hook. Got lucky yesterday, I think. Last chance with the Tasmanian Devil. So it's 9:45, more or less, minus 2 minutes. So chuck some lures out there. Got a Tassie Devil, which is here. And it works. And let's see it. I don't get a trout. Who knows?